Hey guys, hope all is well. Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency update. I have a bunch of information to get through today, so bear with me, watch until the end, and I just want to kind of speed through all of this as always. Let me know your thoughts down below. Always appreciate it. So to kick things off, guys, we're going to go through a high-level overview of things we know and then kind of go into a little further depth and detail for any newcomers in the space. The majority of these documents, again, Damor Sahami, one of the originals at Love for Crypto, spammed me with like 20 documents. I've been going through them. I really appreciate it. Again, he'll just send me stuff with no context and I'll just go through it, so we always get a good laugh. But right here, guys, so we know Nacha, essentially the backbone of the entire ACH system for the United States. As we can see here, Ripple Lab joins them back in 2014. Already well aware of this, showing Ripple at the bottom of this payment stack as a whole. Again, ACH Automated Clearinghouse, the electronic network that's the backbone of the United States payments. Now remember, all my talk tracks, everything I'm saying, I'm not making this up. This is just from, years of reading. Way too much. So we know Nacha, again, ACI Worldwide is another RippleNet partner right on their website, Universal Payments, again, their UP initiative platform. We do know that they send roughly in payments and securities daily. Again, I'm sure a lot of this is securities, 14 trillion per day. Another huge behemoth organization, something to keep an eye on. We can see that they've obviously been, together hand in hand for quite some time. No surprise, any of these giant groups that we talk about, organizations, Finastra included. Again, Finastra, the top 48 of the top 50 banks in the world. Also, RippleNet integrated. Now, it does not mean they're using XRP today, but I think the fact that it shows via, a single API, the possibility and the potential is there. All right. Some people have the belief that it will be rather slow and steady, building liquidity, incentivizing market makers day by day, building the infrastructure, the rails, regulation, and there's just too many elements to this. And that is very possible. But again, David Schwartz, CTO of Ripple, has said that's possible, but essentially market makers, traders, speculative retail investors like us will catch attention. And if you see XRP moving 0.5% every single day, and it's, reaching higher highs, that trend will be noticed. And now that banks can custody digital assets, there's going to be speculative bull runs mixed with the utility-based bull runs as well. So it could create the snowball effect. Now, before I get into depth and detail with this, guys, I was doing a little interview with Ferdy, XRP twin, and just to kind of go over a few things that I went over with him, just super brief. And he just kind of asked what happened, on July 22nd, history in the making, banks being able to hold in custody crypto assets for the first time. And with my tinfoil hat, I just want to say I personally believe, and this is not financial advice, you guys can disagree with me 100%, that's fine. I'm just some dude speaking my thoughts after, some research. There's a million people smarter than me, I get it. But I personally believe that this has been in the works all along. Banks have been experimenting to go digital for well over a decade. I'm not talking about DLT or CBDCs, I'm just talking about digitization or digitalization for their currencies. The DTCC's former CEO, Don Donahue, led us through the 2007-2008 financial crisis. And again, they're managing and settling well over $1.4 quadrillion, maybe $1.2 quadrillion per year. So he led us through that crisis, right? Then in 2015, when DLT is starting to get a name for itself, becomes an advisor for the company Ripple. Then, shortly after in 2016, he becomes the chairman of the Global Payment Steering Group, GPSG, aka RippleNet. This is, again, RippleNet, guys, the entire global infrastructure for low-value payment systems. That's something significant. So all during this time, as well, 2015, 2016, if you remember the roadmap video I did for the DTCC began experimenting with DLT, Distributed Ledger Tech. How clear can this all get, guys? This game is a three-dimensional chess game at play. It's all conspiracy until it isn't, and if even 1% of this, turns out to be true, I think that would speak volumes in the future. I don't care about price predictions. I just believe Ripple and XRP, their crypto asset, will do exceedingly well in the future alongside many others. All right, there's not going to be a single asset that does everything. There's going to be many use cases and needs. And I think as we bridge the traditional markets, we're going to see this growing day by day. All right. Now regarding PolySign, just super high level, obviously Poly kind of like multiple and sign signatures for, obviously multi-signature. I'm very confident Polysign's going to serve a very important role in the future, guys. Hence all of the NDAs even David Schwartz has talked about. Mickey B. Fresh, again, at Mr. Fresh Time on Twitter, shows some great research and great threads. People make fun of Twitter, but I think it's one of the most valuable platforms for all of us to kind of talk about and go back and forth. And again, he was showing additional footage of their head of compliance, Antoinette O'Gorman, speaking at the International Monetary Fund, one of the biggest organizations in the world, about everything we've been discussing. In additional, this is all like additional support that the IMF, BIS, World Bank, it's not all coincidental. We already talked about the Federal Reserve in, previous videos, and there's way more information that some of the great researchers in this community could show. I just wanted to show you what literally a 5-minute Google search can pull up. All right. So again, this supports, beliefs, speculation, etc. State Street, BNY Mellon already holding, a fourth to the half of the world's electronic wealth. They want their slice of the pie. I think they're going to get it. The major custodians are going to capitalize on this wealth transfer as well, period. All right. My view today with digitalization, this acceleration that we're seeing, zero doubt, it is just a waiting game. And 2020 is already being, it's crazy. We have silver, we have gold moving. Remember on this channel, I was saying, per other people, it's not just me guessing and being a fortune teller. I believe that metals are going to keep going higher. And I think that crypto assets will be shortly or closely behind. We'll simply see. I'm really hoping and expecting that, this Bitcoin nearing, going over 11K is going to start pulling up the alts with it. I think that's what a lot of people are expecting. We did have some alts go up, but some even pulled back dramatically. But keep in mind, those altcoins were a lot more volatile and also already have seen, 203% gain, 300% gains this year. All right. Just has to breathe a little bit. Also, in the years ahead, guys, obviously with the ISO 20022 migration, it's going to be the standard for high value payment systems. That's what they've said. It's going to be the high value payment system standard in reserve currencies, supporting 80% of global volume and 87% of value of transactions worldwide. We hear the delays. We hear, Ripple being the first and only DLT member to join their, body, their regulatory body or whatever, their team. Absolutely insane. And yes, I care about the high value transfers because higher volume and higher value transfers that are consistent will push the price exponentially. That's what I'm looking for in ROI. I want to take a part of this. I mean, you can argue retail investors, we provide, some liquidity to the system, some additional demand, whether you're trading, etc. But I think most of us are just here to, take a place and try to capitalize on a trend that we're noticing. All right, we have, let me see here. So we got Nacha, ACI Worldwide, again, Ripple joining Nacha. I mean, even right here, guys, this is a group in Amsterdam. And again, this is all Damor Sahami sharing this with me. So again, we have cross-border payments at scale with more than 150 payment methods and currencies to support digital companies with cross-border payments, as well as unique local payment processing solutions is the biggest, fastest growing markets, such as, notice it's the BRICS nations right here, Russia, China, Latin America. Again, you can include Brazil. So remember, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Funny if you added, a K for BRICS, that could be Korea as well. All right, so pay attention to this. I feel like we haven't heard much about BRICS recently, specifically with gold appreciating, and we also knew that the majority of the BRICS nations have been accumulating more gold than, historically before, ever, if that's even proper English. All right, right here, Payments Canada, guys. Cross-border transactions having accounted for 23.7 trillion with a T globally in 2018. That is money that has to move. We are talking about, obviously, the velocity of money, settling with finality, the benefits of DLT, resiliency, and having multiple points of failure instead of a single centralized point. Centralized systems are dying, and this is simply a trend that we are going to see. Tier 1 banks, big companies, they can try to resist, but it's simply a matter of time. They can only delay for so long. This is inevitable. And this is not just me talking about crypto assets. This is just a simple trend. Society tends to, swing back and forth like a pendulum from decentralization to centralization. All right, everything and nothing. Again, right here, talking about different developments with GPI, messaging a ripoff of Ripple's X Current, ongoing efforts to affect cross-border funds transfers using digital currencies. We've talked about Project Jasper and Ubin. Remember, even additional things, I think we even talked about Lynx, Inthenon, Lion Rock. experimenting with interledger protocol, and then even doing runs without it. And we also had, guess what groups? Accenture helping all of these groups with digital transformation. They don't only help R3, Swift, and Ripple, being one of the first investors in Ripple, they're helping the DTCC. Accenture is massive. All right. I even saw Lee from SPQR, amazing video, and he's placing a big bet. And I think he could be dead on with Accenture, even, kind of being one of Bank of England's partners. I don't think it's far-fetched whatsoever. Right? JP Morgan's, again, interbank, I would say intrabank because they're a walled garden, just another permissioned network. Facebook, Libra, again, guys, if you've read the white paper, you saw the technology. Even people just joke around and say it's just a white paper. But yeah, they could roll it out relatively quickly. People would be, obviously adopting it. If Facebook offered free Libra to buy on their marketplace, people would sell out and adopt it, in my opinion. But it's just simply happening, guys. This is simply just a database of, IOUs. All right. Right here at Finastra, so we talked about them, obviously another behemoth, RippleNet enabled. We know, I believe Darren Moore was the one that discovered, I think with like a few others, XRP nuts. I'm blanking on the other name, so I apologize. But talking, RippleNet is already enabled with Finastra's payment platform, Global Pay Plus. All right, talk about CLS. And in particular, again, Africa, another huge population of the unbanked. We can talk about, Mojo Loop initiatives, ILP, Bill and Melinda Gates, and just talking about, Fusion cash management, integrating real-time cross-border payments, management systems, etc. Talking about the transaction volumes, the trends, the growth, the CAGR, etc. All right, something to keep an eye on, just keeping it high level. This is an actual worldbank.org document, and just kind of showing and speeding through it, guys. I mean, this is kind of zoomed in, so I do apologize. But I mean, right here, accelerating digitalization. I think we see what's happening, guys. Bank of International Settlements documents, World Bank. Remember the World Bank, even David Malpass, all these guys in 2017, they praised XRapid, which is literally the software that utilizes XRP as a digital asset for on-demand liquidity. And all these documents we're seeing, they're centered around what? Accelerating digitalization, enhancing cross-border payments, liquidity management. BIS, IMF, World Bank, every major institution, country is finally discussing this out in the open, even on TV, in documents that we're able to access, especially the World Economic Forum, guys, the 1% of the 1%. And, people call it tinfoil hattish, and I get it. I get sick of the hype too, and sometimes I even play a part in it, but I just get excited. And they're calling it the Great Reset. Why? Because great change is needed in the years ahead, whether it is, technological, whether it's, pollution and, climate change. I think it's happening. All right. Biomedical tech, etc. I don't care if you agree with me or not with specific crypto assets. Distributed ledger technology is going to change everything regarding data, value, trust, efficiency, financial inclusion. That's why I'm making these videos as much as possible to attempt and spread awareness. I'm still learning every single day. I don't really think there's any single expert, even if you follow the 10,000 hour rule. I think I already said this, 1 billion people smarter than me. I'm just trying to contribute while I'm here, period. All right. Let's keep going. So right here, ECB, again, just talking about this initiative to launch a new European payment solution, creating, unified payment solutions for consumers. Obviously, in the future, these are going to be more distributed. I think that we can agree there's still going to be centralization that exists, but there's going to be bridges to allow all of this to interoperate is the key word, right? Digital wallets covering in-store, online, person-to-person, P2P, as well as cash withdrawals. Even right here, guys, the tips, the target instant payments settlements, we can talk about, Target 2 securities. Remember, their network provider is Task Group, TAS. They're integrated with Ripple. They do a side-by-side comparison. You can Google that right now. Task Group and Ripple, and you can see what exactly they're offering. Task Group is said and quoted in many documents saying they are the heart of the Target 2, network, securities, etc. All right. This is, dozens of millions per second being transferred throughout the Euro system. All right, we don't need to get into this. I believe it's pronounced Temasek, but I know you guys remember all the MAS stuff. Monetary Authority of Singapore talking about their projects. Ubin, Jasper, in tandem with Accenture, trialing with Interledger Protocol and Without, which is created by Ripple. Just too many coincidences, period. We have R3, helping with various projects as well. No surprise. All right, FSB, other documents with the G20 finance ministers and central bank governors discussing cross-border payments. I think you guys remember the other documents we've seen with direct mentions of Ripple and their virtual currency, XRP. All right, and then almost done right here. So just wanted to point this out. Even in 2019, we have Accenture, first investor in Ripple, one of them, and also DTCC. And I talked about them earlier in this video. So we have the gentleman here, their CTA, I guess you can say that, Chief Technology Architect, Rob Palatnik. And then also we have our buddy over at Accenture. Remember, we've seen him, global blockchain lead, David Treat. We heard him talking about the digital dollar project and actually running tokens over it and finally kind of getting things going. So very exciting. Again, remember, Accenture, former CFTC chairman Christopher Giancarlo, an advisor for Ripple. It's just high level, chess pieces at play. Some people might, say it's too good to be true, but I guess nothing will be, too good to be true to happen to you as well, if that makes sense. I'd rather live my life looking at the, positives, because I think that's the only way you're ever going to get a positive result, no matter how long it takes. All right, Accenture, another document. This is old. I know a million people have seen this already, but just talking about Ripple, real-time cross-border commercial payments using DLT. And Ripple is one of the first. Besides Bitcoin with proof of work, XRP was one of the truly first distributed networks that had a new type of consensus mechanism. All right, proof of correctness, proof of consensus. Kind of goes by a few things. If you guys want to, pause it and read a little bit about Internet of Value, cross-border payments, talk about their startup. They sit on the Federal Reserve's Faster Payments Task Force steering committee, gifted, remember, the ILP to basically the organization that governs the web today. I just don't think I can get any more clear. In every single video, I get comments of Ripple, the banker's coin, the scam coin, the stable coin. It's never going to go past $1. It's never going to do this. Just watch, period. All right, I'm sick of hearing my own voice, guys. Hopefully you appreciated this little Ripple rant number 16, I believe. If not, I'll retitle it 17 or 15, whatever it is. Remember to check the links in the video description for all things related to cryptocurrency. Appreciate all of you guys. Shout out to my top channel members: BMore1113, Lunar Phoenix, Jamie XRP, Crypto Beginner, Ken Melendez, also has a great coil blog, XRP Holder 4, and XRP Life. Take care, everybody.